I have read more than 60 books. One name that keeps resurfacing in most of the books when it's come to personal growth and having a control over yourself is Viktor Frankl. Authors quote and reference him constantly. But why? What has he done? What was the theory that he gave and how that can be helpful in finding meaning in your life? All the answers lies in the book that he wrote in 1946 called Man's Search for Meaning. I welcome you to the world of this book, which is a raw, terrifying and ultimately life-affirming record of what happens when a human being is stripped of literally everything and still finds a reason to keep living. A book that will help you to survive even the worst of the worst circumstances in your life. But before we dive into the book, let me break the ice by introducing you to Dr. Viktor Frankl. He was a psychiatrist living in Austria. He had an opportunity to move to America when World War II was breaking out. But due to personal reasons which he has mentioned in the preface of the book, he decided to stay behind. Shortly after, Frankl and his entire family were sent to Nazi concentration camps. But why is his story so special? It's because he not only survived the camps where his whole existence was in question, where he lost his family, but it's that he came out of that living nightmare, wrote this book, continued his work, and lived 50 years after that, which is mind-blowing. Think about it for a second. When life throws immense hardship and tragedy at you, you cannot always control the situation, but you always retain the ultimate human freedom, deciding how you will respond to it. That single idea changed modern psychology forever. Now let's talk about the book, which is around 150 pages and divided into two main parts, along with two prefaces and one postscript. Today, we will be discussing the two main parts. In part 1, Frankl takes us inside the camp, where he tells how was everyday life in a concentration camp reflected in the mind of the average prisoner. He talks about the brutal cold, the starvation, and the constant fear of death. He explains how prisoners went through 3 phases of mental reaction to camp's life. First, the initial shock when they arrived. Next, the deep apathy comes when they got trapped in the routine. And finally, a complex readjustment if they survived and released from the camp. Frankl mentions how he promised himself on his first evening in the camp that he will never run into the wire, which was the most popular method of by the electrically charged wire fence. In all that suffering, Frankl noticed something extraordinary. The prisoners who were most likely to survive the camp were not necessarily the physically strongest. They were the ones who had the reason, a why. And then in the middle of this first part come the most impactful line, which whoever has read just moved, and which makes you understand why this book has such a big impact. I want to give you the glimpse of some of those lines. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. The experiences of camp life shows that man does have a choice of action. Frankl realized that suffering is an unavoidable part of life, just like fate or death. He even shares the tragic observation from the chief doctor of his camp. During Christmas 1944 and New Year's 1945, the death rate spiked dramatically. It's because most prisoners had held the hope that they would be home by Christmas. When Christmas came and gone, without any changes in their life, they lost hope, courage, and passed away. I won't spoil the other moments Frankl shared, because reading how human love and mental resilience persist even in the darkest places on earth is something that you should experience from the book. That brings us to the part 2, where Frankl breaks down his own theory that he called logotherapy. Logos is a Greek word which means meaning. Before Frankl, famous thinkers like Sigmund Freud believed that humans are driven primarily by pleasure. Alfred Adler believed we are driven by power. But Frankl's theory argued that humans are driven by a will to meaning. So logotherapy focuses on the meaning of human existence as well as on man's search for such a meaning. According to Frankl, we can discover this meaning in life in 3 different ways. First, by creating a work or doing a deed, including the contributions, passions, or work that we do. Second, by experiencing something or encountering someone, like relationships, love, or nature. And third, by the attitude you take toward the unavoidable suffering, turning human tragedy into personal triumph. We live in a world today where we rarely face the physical horrors that Frankl endured. Yet so many of us go through what Frankl called existential vacuum, a void, a feeling of emptiness within themselves. That is why this book matters so much right now. It doesn't give you cliche toxic positivity. It tells you that life can be deeply painful, but it can always have the meaning. You simply do not have to exist, but decide what your existence will be, what you will become in the next moment. That's something we can take away from the book. I can break down the book for you whole day, but nothing compares to experiencing Frankl's words directly on the page. The whole point of this video is not to replace the book, it's to give you the trailer so you can read it yourself. And to help you to do that, we are giving away one free copy of the book. If you want a chance to win it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below sharing why you want to read the book. The name of the winner will be announced in the next week book breakdown, where we will be decoding another incredible book together. Till then, take care. Happy reading.